Ethan had always been curious about the stars, about what lay beyond the tiny blue planet he called home. As a young human, he had dreamed of visiting other worlds, learning from alien civilizations and proving that humanity had more to offer than most species believed. Now, standing on the smooth, metallic surface of Lyra's planet, he felt that dream becoming real. The sky shimmered with two suns, bathing the city in gold and silver light, while sleek flying vehicles moved gracefully between towers made of crystal-like material. Everything here was alive with energy, a vibrant pulse that humans had only ever imagined in stories. He had met Lyra only a few hours earlier, though it felt like a lifetime. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen. Her skin glimmered faintly in the sunlight, almost like a pearl, and her eyes, large and expressive, reflected colors he didn't have names for. She moved with the confidence of someone who had grown up in a world where every motion could mean strength or survival. Yet there was a mischievous twinkle in her expression. "Come on," she said, her voice musical, almost teasing. "I'll show you something no human has ever touched before." Ethan followed her through narrow corridors that led deep into the heart of a tower, far from the bustling streets outside. The corridors opened into a large room, illuminated by a soft, radiant glow that seemed to come from the walls themselves. The air smelled faintly of ozone and warmth. Ethan's eyes widened as he saw the room's contents. Everywhere were artifacts and relics, some looking like ceremonial weapons, others like armor that seemed alive with energy. Some hovered slightly above the ground, tiny streams of light circling them as if they were breathing. Lyra moved through the room as though she belonged to it, her fingers brushing over the surface of an ancient sword that hummed faintly. "These belonged to my ancestors," she said, her tone almost reverent. "Warriors who protected this planet from invaders across the galaxy. Every piece carries a part of their spirit, their skills, and their power." Ethan stepped closer, trying not to let his awe show too much. He had expected advanced technology, yes, but not this. "They're incredible," he said. "But how do they work?" Lyra's eyes sparkled. "That's for me to know and you to find out. But," she added, stepping to a suit of armor that seemed carved from metal and crystal, "I have a little game for you. I promise it's safe, mostly." She held up the armor, a full-body suit with engravings that moved faintly like they were alive. The weight of it looked impossible for a human, and yet she laughed as she held it in one hand. "Try it on," she dared. "I bet you can't even lift the gauntlets." Ethan hesitated. The armor looked intimidating, and the engraving seemed to flicker as if assessing him. But curiosity got the better of caution. "Why not?" he said, trying to mask his nervousness. "I've never tried anything like this before." As he approached, Lyra's expression shifted slightly. She wasn't used to humans being so bold. Most would have stepped back immediately, overwhelmed by the sheer presence of the armor. Ethan, however, was smiling, eager to explore. He knelt slightly and slipped his arms into the gauntlets. Immediately he felt a strange sensation, a tingling that ran up his arms and through his chest. "Whoa," he whispered, staring at his hands. The armor adjusted to fit him perfectly, as if it had been waiting for someone exactly like him. Lyra laughed, a mixture of surprise and delight. "It's just a joke," she said, but there was uncertainty in her voice now. "I didn't expect it to fit." Ethan stood, slowly pulling the chest plate over his torso. The armor moved with him as though it were alive, wrapping around him without a single struggle. The weight was there, yes, but it wasn't cumbersome. Instead, it felt natural. He flexed his fingers and the gauntlets responded instantly, amplifying his strength without him even thinking about it. This is incredible," he said, feeling a sudden surge of energy coursing through him. He lifted a small training weapon from a nearby stand with ease, something that had required both hands before. Now it felt like he could lift twice as much with one hand. Lyra's expression turned serious. She had seen enough of her ancestors' armor to know when it was being activated, even partially. "Ethan," she said, her voice low, "you're not just wearing it. You're connecting with it somehow. It recognizes you." "I recognize it?" he asked, confused. "I don't even know what that means." "Humans are strange," Lyra admitted, shaking her head. "We thought your species wasn't capable of bonding with armor like this. It was made to choose a warrior of my bloodline, someone who carries certain qualities in their spirit, and yet, here you are." Ethan took a few tentative steps, testing his balance. He moved faster than he thought possible, His reflexes sharper, his senses heightened. He noticed subtle details around him. The faint currents of energy in the room, the slight vibrations of the walls, even the tiniest fluctuations in Lyra's movements. You can feel it, can't you? Lyra asked. She stepped closer, her eyes studying him carefully. The armor is reacting to your mind, not just your body. It's trying to learn who you are, and I think it's accepting you. Ethan didn't know whether to feel proud or nervous. He had read stories of alien technology responding to those who were worthy, but he had never imagined being the one to experience it firsthand. Does this mean I can fight in it? He asked, almost joking, though his heart raced with anticipation. Lyra hesitated. I don't know. That was never meant to happen. The armor chooses carefully. Sometimes it can give strength, speed, even skill. But you humans are unpredictable. If it bonds fully, you could surpass anything we have ever seen. Ethan felt a mix of fear and excitement. Then I guess we'll find out. They moved to a small training arena nearby. Lyra handed him a lightweight staff, its surface smooth but humming faintly with energy. Try a few movements, she said. Just see what happens. Ethan swung the staff tentatively at first, then with more confidence. Each motion was precise, fluid, almost as if the armor itself was guiding him. He jumped, dodged imaginary attacks, and spun in ways he never thought possible. With every move, he felt stronger, faster, more capable. Lyra's eyes widened. She had trained many warriors, and even she had never seen someone pick up the techniques so quickly, especially without formal instruction. This is unreal, she muttered. A human, actually mastering the armor. Suddenly, the armor emitted a faint glow, lines of energy flowing across the surface, reacting to Ethan's heartbeat and movements. A small wave of light spread outward, and the air in the room vibrated slightly. Ethan paused, sensing something deep within the armor, a presence almost like a whisper in his mind. Ethan, Lyra said, her voice urgent now. That's the armor reaching out. It wants you to understand it, to merge with it. Don't panic if you hear voices or feel things. It's not dangerous, but it's intense. Ethan nodded, focusing on the sensation rather than resisting it. A calm understanding began to form. The armor wasn't just metal and energy. It was a living connection to generations of warriors, each of whom had trained and fought to protect the planet. And somehow the armor believed he could continue that legacy. Hours passed like minutes. Lyra watched, torn between amusement and concern. Ethan was laughing, testing new moves and discovering strengths he didn't know he had. Each time he swung the staff or jumped across the arena, the armor responded, amplifying his movements, enhancing his awareness. By the time the suns had begun to dip below the horizon, bathing the city in long golden shadows, Ethan finally removed the armor, though reluctantly. His body felt tired but exhilarated, as though he had pushed himself further than he ever could on Earth. He looked at Lyra, eyes wide with wonder. I don't even know what just happened, he said. I feel different, stronger, sharper, like I could do anything. Lyra smiled softly, a mixture of pride and caution in her expression. It's more than that, she said. The armor has accepted you. That doesn't happen often. You're not just playing with a relic anymore, Ethan. You've awakened something ancient, something powerful. Ethan stared at her, heart racing. Awakened? What do you mean? Lyra shook her head, her voice lowering. I don't know yet. But this is no longer a joke. You've stepped into something much bigger than both of us. Be ready, human, your life, and maybe even the future of this planet has just changed. As night fell over the city, Ethan stood alone on a balcony, gazing at the twin moons rising in the sky. The wind carried a faint hum, almost like the armor calling to him. He had come to this world as a visitor, curious and eager to learn. Now he was something else entirely, a human who had touched a power no one expected him to, a power that could change everything. The morning light spread across the alien city, shimmering against towers of crystal and metal. Ethan stood near the edge of Lyra's training arena, the morning sun casting long shadows over the polished floor. He still wore remnants of the armor, gloves and boots that had adjusted themselves to his body, humming faintly with energy. Every time he moved, he felt it respond, subtly enhancing his reflexes and strength. Lyra arrived, her expression a mix of excitement and worry. You need to understand something. she said as she walked beside him. The armor isn't just powerful. It's connected to the energy of this planet and the history of my people. What you did yesterday, it wasn't supposed to happen. Humans were never meant to wear it. Ethan listened carefully, nodding. He had expected her to warn him, but he also sensed admiration beneath her words. I felt something, he said. It was alive, like it wanted me to do something. Lyra's eyes widened. Exactly. The armor chooses based on qualities of spirit, courage, and heart. Somehow, it saw something in you. That is very rare, extremely rare. I have never seen it bond with anyone outside my family line. Ethan swallowed. Bond? What does that mean for me? It means, Lyra replied, lowering her voice, that if danger comes, it will enhance you, protect you, and guide you. But it also means you carry responsibility. The armor doesn't forgive mistakes, and it responds to your choices. Before Ethan could ask more, a distant hum echoed through the city. Lyra stiffened and scanned the horizon with her sharp alien eyes. We have company, she said. From the sky, dark shapes emerged, sleek ships that didn't belong to the city. Ethan noticed weapons mounted on their undersides, glowing with deadly energy. Mercenaries, raiders from outside the planet, drawn by the legends of her ancestors' relics. They want the armor, Lyra said. Or worse, they'll take anything of power. Ethan's heart raced, but he felt a calm determination in his chest. Then we stopped them. Lyra looked at him, a mix of surprise and doubt. Do you even know how to fight? I know how to think, he replied. That's a start. The first ship hovered low, energy beams firing at the city's defenses. Citizens screamed and ran, but Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm. Put the armor fully on, now. He obeyed quickly, feeling the metal and crystal slide over his body. Instantly, his senses sharpened. He could feel the vibrations of the ground, the flow of energy in the city's structures, even the intentions of the attackers. The armor had bonded with him, responding to his mind and instincts. Focus, Lyra said, handing him the staff. You can do more than you realize. The first wave of mercenaries landed in the arena. They were armed with advanced weapons, but their coordination was poor. Ethan moved instinctively, dodging blasts, leaping higher than any human should, and deflecting attacks with the staff. Each motion was precise, guided by the armor's energy. He felt almost invincible, but he knew this was just the beginning. Lyra fought beside him, using her agility and knowledge of the arena to outmaneuver their opponents. She glanced at Ethan, eyes wide with disbelief. I never imagined a human could move like that, she said, ducking a heavy strike. Ethan grinned, feeling the rush of adrenaline. Neither did I. The mercenaries regrouped, forming a circle around them. Ethan's mind raced, analyzing patterns, weaknesses, and timing. He realized they relied too much on strength and numbers, underestimating the defender's speed and precision. Using the armor's guidance, he feinted a strike, then rolled behind an opponent, striking with enhanced power. The attacker collapsed, stunned. Lyra clapped her hands, a rare smile breaking through her concern. Yes, that's it. Keep moving! Ethan noticed the armor responding further, lines of energy flaring along the limbs, amplifying his attacks. He lifted two attackers with a single motion, using their momentum against them, and redirected energy blasts harmlessly into the ground. The armor wasn't just enhancing his strength. It was enhancing his thinking, showing him solutions he never would have imagined. The mercenaries were relentless, but Ethan and Lyra worked together seamlessly. He adjusted to her moves instinctively, anticipating her actions even before she made them. The bond with the armor was growing stronger, as if it approved of their teamwork. Suddenly, a massive ship hovered above, dropping a heavily armed commander into the arena. The commander's armor radiated dark energy, a cruel contrast to the ancient pure energy Ethan wore. The fight intensified. The commander struck with ferocity, and for the first time Ethan felt pressure. The armor responded, shielding him instinctively as he countered with moves he didn't consciously plan. You can do this, Lyra shouted. Trust yourself in the armor. Ethan closed his eyes briefly, focusing. He felt the energy of his surroundings, the rhythm of the city, and even the heartbeat of the planet itself through the armor. A plan formed in his mind. With enhanced speed, he darted between the commander's attacks, landing precise strikes that exploited weaknesses in the enemy armor. Each strike sent energy rippling through the commander, slowing his movements. Lyra joined him, her strikes synchronized perfectly with his. Together they moved like a single entity, their teamwork flawless. Ethan realized that while the armor gave him power, it was his mind, creativity, and quick thinking that truly made them unstoppable. Finally, with a final leap and a controlled strike, Ethan disarmed the commander. The dark energy flickered and died as the mercenary fell. The remaining attackers, seeing their leader defeated, fled, leaving the city shaken but unharmed. Ethan removed the armor slowly, breathing hard, his body still tingling with residual energy. Lyra looked at him with awe. I can't believe it," she said softly. "You didn't just wear the armor. You became part of it. You saved this city." Ethan shook his head, smiling but exhausted. "I didn't do it alone. You were amazing too, and I guess humans are more capable than anyone expected." Lyra's eyes softened. "Yes, that's what I wanted to show. Humans are underestimated in the galaxy. You've proven that even a being from another world can rise to challenges and succeed." They stood on the balcony overlooking the city as citizens slowly returned to assess the damage. The twin suns reflected off the crystal towers, and the streets buzzed with whispered admiration for the human warrior who had appeared from nowhere. Ethan realized that his journey had changed him. He had come to explore, to learn, and to understand. But now he had become part of something larger, a symbol of human potential, a proof that courage, creativity, and quick thinking could rival advanced alien technology and centuries of tradition. Lyra turned to him, a small smile playing on her lips. "The armor will always remember you now. Even if you never wear it again, a connection remains. You have awakened something ancient, something powerful. But you also have a choice. You can walk away, or you can continue to learn, to protect, and to grow with it." Ethan looked out over the horizon, the weight of possibility settling in. He had felt power he had never imagined, but more than that, he had felt the responsibility that came with it. He had learned that being human didn't mean being weak. It meant being adaptable, brave, and clever in ways that others sometimes overlooked. "I want to learn," he said finally. "I want to understand, and I want to be ready for whatever comes next." Lyra's smile widened, genuine this time. "Good, then let's begin. Humanity has a role in this galaxy, Ethan, and I think you're going to help show everyone just how remarkable humans can be." As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the city, Ethan felt a deep sense of purpose. He wasn't just a visitor on this alien world anymore. He was a warrior, a protector, and a symbol of the potential within every human. The armor had awakened powers within him, yes, but it had also awakened something far greater, the true strength of the human spirit. And somewhere deep inside, he knew this was only the beginning.